Hey guys, welcome to Pepcoding. In today's lecture, we are going to solve this question, number of valid subarrays. Okay, let's try to read this question. Given an array nums of integer, okay, return the number of non-empty continuous subarrays that satisfy the following condition. Fine. The leftmost element of the subarray is not larger than other elements in the subarray. Fine. What do you mean by this line? The leftmost element in the subarray is not larger than other elements in the subarray. Fine. That means the leftmost element is the smallest element in that subarray. Okay. So firstly, let's discuss about what is a subarray. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the subarray. Okay. Let's say I have taken this array 1, 2, 3. What will be the subarrays of this 1, 2, 3? Okay. 1. Fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. These are the subarrays which are starting from 1. Okay. Now let's talk about 2. 2 and 2, 3. And 1 will be 3. So there are 5 subarrays of 1 to 3. I hope now you understood what is the meaning of subarrays. Okay, it's very basic thing. If you are here in the stack, so you already know about subarray. Okay, we have to what we have done here 1 2 3. So the subarrays of 1 2 3 are this 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 3 and 2 2 3 and 3. Okay, so what the question is now? What question is asking us? Okay, so 1 2 3 is the subarray. Okay, so we'll be sorry array. So what we'll be doing here, we have to print no we have to print the number of total valid subarrays. Okay, so what are valid subarrays here? Let's talk about first subarrays. Okay, one is here now. Okay, let's and what is the condition for valid subarray is that the leftmost element of that subarray must be the smallest element in that array. Okay, so this is fine. Yeah, there is only one element and the leftmost element is, yes, obviously smaller than every element because there is only one element. Okay, so now let's talk about 1 2. Yeah, this is also fine. Why? Because see, the leftmost element is the smallest element in this subarray. Fine. So now let's talk about 1 2 3. Yeah, this is also fine because sorry, 1 2 3 is here. This is also fine. Why? This is also fine because this one is the smallest element. The leftmost element is the smallest element in this subarray. Fine. So now let's talk about 2. 2 is also fine. Yeah, 2 3. This is also fine. Why? Because 2 is the smallest one. The leftmost element should be the smallest one. And yeah, there are only 2. And let's talk about 3. 3 is also fine. Okay. Now let's discuss some other test cases also. 1 3 2. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss this. Okay. So there will be how many subarrays? 1. Okay, 1 is fine. 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is also fine. Why? Because their leftmost element is the smallest one. And I am talking about now. I am going to talk about now of 132. This is also will be the subarray of this problem. Okay, but yeah, this is not a valid subarray. Why? Because sorry, yeah, this is also valid subarray. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is also valid subarray. Okay, because 1 is the smallest element in this array. Okay, so one more. Let's start from the 3. Okay, 3 is also fine because it's a single element. And let's talk about 3 2. So yeah, leftmost element is not the smallest one. Why? Because see, leftmost element is 3, and and ahead of 3 there is a smallest element present. Okay, so this is not a valid one. Okay, so now let's talk about other. So here's 2. 2 is the valid one. So yeah, total number of valid subarrays are how much here? 1 2 3 and 1 4 and 1 5. The total number of valid subarrays are here 5. Okay, so I hope you understood this question, that what's going on in this question, what we have to do in this question. Okay, we have to return the number of valid subarrays that will be made using this array, the input array. Okay, so let's talk about your other test cases also. Let's see if there are, let's see how much things are there. Okay, so let's say it's 1, let's say 3 2 2 and 2 2 and 1 5. Okay, so it's pretty big. So let's talk about this one 3 2 2 1. Okay, so now let's see. So what's going on here? We will first start from the one, that how many subarrays will be there from 1. Okay, so 1 will be, this 1 is fine. 1 3 1 3 is also fine. Yeah, because leftmost element is smaller one. Okay, 1 3 2 1 3 2 is also fine. then 1 3 2 2 1 3 2 2 is also fine. Okay, 1 3 2 2 1. Okay, now let's talk about this one. Here what's going on, that it's the smallest one, it's fine, but yeah, its equal term is also repeating, so we have a problem with, you know what, if there is one more element which is smaller than this one, okay, then we will have a problem. Okay, this is fine for now. Okay, because leftmost element is the smallest one. Okay, so this is also fine. Okay, now let's talk about threes. Okay, 3 is also fine. Now let's talk about 3 2. And here it's wrong. Why? Because 3 is not the smallest one. Okay, so the next sub array will be what, 3 2 2. You can see, yeah, 3 is not the smallest one. So after this you will make the sequence of 3, then there will be no valid sub arrays. Okay, yeah, because see, 3 2 2 1, this will make no sense. Okay, so whenever I am getting a wrong sub array here, where invalid sub array, so I have to stop here only. Okay, so now let's talk about 2. Yes, 2 is fine. Okay, now let's talk about 2 2. Yes, 2 2 is also fine. Why? Because there's no smallest element in the right. Yes, it is equal will be fine, but there mustn't be the smallest element. Okay, so 2 2 is also fine. Now let's talk about 2 2 1. This is wrong because the leftmost element is not the smallest one. There is someone here present. Okay, so there is some element present which is smaller than the leftmost element. Okay, so this array is invalid array. Okay, fine. So now let's talk about the next two. Next two is also fine. This is also fine. Now let's talk about next one to one. This is also wrong because why? Because yeah, the leftmost element is not smaller than the other elements. Fine. So what's left? This left. So one is left. So this is also valid. Okay. So how many valid subarrays are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So total number of valid subarrays are 10. Okay, so let's see that how we'll be going to do this question. Okay, I am taking this input only. So what's going on, let's talk about this thing. Okay, so wait. So what was it? It was 1 3 2 2 1. Wait, it was what? It was 1 3 1 3 2 2 1. Okay, so this was it. Okay, so how can we solve this problem here? Let's see. How can we solve this problem? Okay, so now I am going to see what is going on. Okay, so 1 3 is fine. Wait, 1 3, here. Okay, so 1 3 1 is fine. Okay, 1 3 is also fine. 1 3 2 is also fine. 1 3 2 2 is also fine. 1 3 2 2 1 is also fine. Okay, so when I am getting the problem, when there is some smaller element after this element, then I am having a problem. Okay, so now let's talk about the second one. What actually is going on? Okay, so the sub arrays from starting from 3 will be 3. Sorry, yeah, so there will be 3. 3 is fine. Yeah, and what about 3 2? Here we are stuck. Okay, so see, you can see from here, I am going to tell you about one thing, that how can we solve this problem using indices. So the index of these elements are 0 1 2 3 and 4, right? So here when it was 1, it was fine. 1 3 was also fine. 1 3 2 was also fine. 1 3 2 2 was also fine. 1 3 2 2 1 is also fine. Okay, so because there was yeah no such element present in this array which is smallest than the element which we are talking about. Like we are starting from 1 na, and we are making sub arrays from 1, this element. So there is no smaller element present, right? So now what we will be going to do, now we're going to check about 3. Okay, so now let's see what's happening. Plus one more thing here I am going to tell you. Okay, so, first of all, now if I say you that I want to start from 1 and I want to check that how many sub arrays will it make from this element only. I'm not talking about the total number of sub arrays. Okay, I'm just talking about the total number of sub arrays which are starting from 1. How many will be there? Okay, so I can see from here I can see what is the index of 0. Total number of sub arrays are 0 1 2 3 and four, sorry, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so there are 5 total number of sub arrays. Fine. So how I am going to do this question? See, so I am at 0 indices. Okay, so there is so total number of sub arrays will be what? So what is the length of this length? 0 1 2 3, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5. 5 is the length. Okay, so what I am going to do, if I am going to subtract 5 with 0, the length of this total, and I'm going to subtract this from 0, then I'll get 5. That means I am getting the total number of sub arrays. Okay, let's talk about 3 also. Okay, what I'm not talking about for a while, I'm not talking about the valid sub arrays. Okay, now I'm just talking about total number of sub arrays. Okay, I'm starting from this 1 3 2 2 1 na. So what will be the sub arrays which are starting from 3? They will be 3 3 2 2, sorry, 3 2 and 3 2 2 and 3 2 2 1. Okay, so there are 4. Okay, indices of 3 is what? Index of 3 is 1 and total length of this array is what? 5. So if I am going to subtract, see, I'm going to subtract it from here. So I want I want my array till here na. So I'm going to subtract it from the, its index is 4. So I'm going to subtract it from the next one. So 5 minus 1 is what? Total length minus the index. 5 minus 1 is 4. So I'm getting the right answer. Okay, so now you know how we are going to calculate the total number of sub-arrays. Now you know that length minus whatever from whatever index I want. Okay, so I hope you understood this. So now we know. So what actually I was going to tell you was this. I'm going to check now. I'm going to check like 3 is fine. Okay, this is fine when I am starting from, wait. Okay, okay, it's okay. I'm going to erase this first. Okay. There was one. Fine. So yes. So I was initially here and I counted the total number of sub arrays were 5. Okay. So now I am here. How will I count? 3 is giving only one sub array. Fine. So let's see how I'm going to count. Firstly, now I'm going to check. One, let's discuss some approach. What will be the approach? What will be the approach? I have to stop where? When I am here 1 3 2 2 1, I will check now where is the next smallest element. Okay, because I have to stop there, because I can see this one is fine. I'm talking about this one. Okay, 1 3 is fine, 1 3 2 is also fine, 1 3 2 2 is also fine, 1 3 1 is also fine. Okay, so I don't have to stop here. Okay, when I'm talking about 2, what I'm going to do, 3 is fine. I'm at indices what? 0 1 2 3 and this is 4. Okay, so I am at 3, it is fine. Now here I can't go to this 2 because it is the smallest one, and there will be then mistake. Okay, this valid sub arrays is not including this 2 because leftmost element must be the smallest element. So here I am getting the bigger element than this. Okay, the greatest element than this. Okay, so what I am going to do now, whenever I get the smallest element, then this element where I am starting from, I just have to minus the indices. See, 2 minus 1. What will be 2 minus 1? 2 minus 1 will be 1. So I'm getting what? Here, I'm getting 1. Okay, so I'm getting one sub array only here. Okay, so one approach will be this. Let's talk about this one. What is happening here? What's happening here? For 1, if I'm starting from 1, I'm there is no such element present which is smaller than 1 in the right. So what I am going to do, what I was doing in 1 3 2 2 1, the smallest element was this one. Okay, so I was doing what? I was just subtracting the smallest element index with its index itself. Okay, so in this there is no such smallest element present. Okay, in the right of this element. So what I am going to do, I just have to subtract the length. I just have to subtract it from the size of this array. Okay, so I hope you get it what I have done here. I have just subtracted 5 with this 0. So I got my total valid sub arrays. Okay, so now let's talk about other ones also. Let's talk about 2 2. Okay, now I am starting from here. My indices is 0 1 2 is here. Okay, so here my indices is 2. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so which is the next smallest element here? Here it is 1. Okay, the next smallest element will be 1. So if I subtract 4, see, if I subtract this 4 with this 2, what I'm getting equals to 2. Why? Because 4 minus 2 equals to 2. So that means that if we have thought about this approach, so this must be right. So let's talk about this. So 2 will give how many sub arrays? This 2, then 2 2 and 2 2 1, right? But this is the wrong one. So I'm getting only two valid sub arrays. So this is right. So our algo is just based on this, that we have to subtract the index from the next smallest element. If there is no such element present which is the smallest from that element, so we have to just subtract it from the size of the array. Okay, so plus one more thing. So this was the brute force, that what we have to do, we just have to find the next smallest element using iteration. And when we get the smallest element, then we just have to subtract it from the index itself. Then we'll get the total number of valid sub arrays. Okay, but actually this is not, this is this will take the time complexity of this approach will be much greater than the, so we have to just make our code optimized. Okay, so what else we can do? So here what we will be going to do, you have already studied, I think, next smallest element to the right. Okay, next smallest towards the right. Okay, next smallest to right. Yeah, you have already studied this in the previous, in this module only. So I will suggest you that what you have to do, you just have to now, you just go, and if you haven't watched that solution, watch that video, go and watch this. Then this question is nothing for you. This is very easy question for you, because in that question we are just finding what, we are just finding the next smallest element to write. Okay, so you have to do what, you just have to watch that video, then you will be getting a better solution, you will be getting better clearance of this question. Okay, what we are doing here, our algorithm was what, we just did what, we were finding the next smaller element, and we were doing what, we were getting the next smaller element index, and we were just subtracting it from the index itself. Okay, so we were doing this, and we are getting our right answer. Okay, so plus one more thing, we have to do what, we have to iterate it from with every element. Okay, for every element we have to do this, and we have to add our total valid sub arrays. Okay, so first let's code this out, then you will be getting a better picture of this question. Fine. So guys, let's code this question. Okay, so here what we will be doing, okay, so what we have to do, we have to we have to find the next smaller elements using that algo. What algo was it? Using next smaller to right. Okay, you have to watch that video. Okay, otherwise you will not have any idea of this question, that what we are doing here. Okay, firstly I'm doing what, I am going to create this stack of integer. Fine. Okay, we have to fill integer in our stack. I'm going to create an empty stack. Okay, new stack. Fine. So after this, what I have to do, I have to iterate in this array. Okay, here we have provided the input like this. Okay, fine, where I have to iterate I less than whatever the array is, nums dot length and I plus plus. Fine. So what we were doing in this question, how we were finding, we were used to find the next smallest element. Okay, so what we were doing here, firstly let's get our element. What was the element? Element was element is nums of I. Okay, so now at last, what is I have to push what in the stack, I have to push my index in the stack. Okay, yeah, I am just going to give you a brief thing about this question, next smaller to right. Okay, so let's say our array is 1 4 2 5 3. Okay, so you know what we have to do, if I want to find the valid sub arrays of this, so what I have to do, I have to check the next smaller element. So there is no next smaller element, so I have to do what, I just have to subtract it from the length is 5 right now, 1 2 3 4 5 5 minus what is the index here, 0 1 2 3 4. So 2 is the index, 5 minus 2 will be 3. So if I see the sub arrays from 2 will be 2 2 5 and 2 5 3. So all of them are valid. Okay, so how we are going to find the next smallest element using this concept. Okay, so let's see what we are going to do here is, okay, so it was 1 4 2 5 and 3. Okay, so here what I am going to do, see, firstly now let me code it, then I'll be now I'll do the dry run. then you will get then you will be knowing that what is happening here. Okay, so now what I have to do, if my stack size is greater than 0, and if my element is less than or equal to whatever present in the stacks peak. Okay, so I have to do what I have to do, just I have to pop from my stack. Okay, plus yes, this is it, plus what we have to do, if my wait if my stacks wait if my stacks size is greater than 0, plus one more thing here, I have to initialize an integer. Okay, that is count. I have to count total sub arrays also, na total valid sub arrays also. Okay, so why I'm doing this, firstly let's, okay, so this is the algorithm for that next smaller to right. Okay, so why I'm doing this, see, this is, if this is my array, let's say 1 no 1 6 7 8 and 9. Okay, so total length is what, total length is 4 right now. So and my indices are 0 1 2 and 3. Okay, so what I have to do now, I'll be iterating from the last. Okay, it's a mistake, I have to iterate from last. I don't have to iterate from first, because the algo is we have to iterate from the last. Fine. Okay, yeah, we can find our next smaller element from the last only. So wait, okay. Hmm. Okay, so yes, so what we have to do, initially we have no choice, so we just have to see if my stack size is greater than 0, what I have to do, if we are in the very last, so the next smallest element is what, nothing, right? So if there's no next smallest element, how we are going to deal with it, we have to subtract it from the length of my sub array. Okay, sorry, length of my array, to find the valid sub arrays. Okay, so here the valid sub arrays from 9 will be what, 9 only. Okay, so there is only one sub array, so what I have to do, its index is 3 right now. Okay, so its index is 3, so I have to subtract it from 4. The size of this array is 4 right now, so that's why I'll get. So what I'm going to do now, I just have to now I know what is it, what is the uh, what is the next smaller element will be 4. Okay, so I can know now from here that next smaller element will be 4 now. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is we have to just push the indices. Okay, so this will be the indices and it will be the value. We are not going to push the value, I'm just telling you that at 3 index the value is 9. Okay, so now what we have to do, now I'm going to check for 2. I'm at iterating from the backside, right? So now I have to check from 2 that if my element is less than the top topest one. Okay, then I have to do what, I just have to pop my elements, because yeah, it is smaller now, my element is smallest than the topest element of the stack, so I have to pop them out because there is no such element present in the stack. Okay, so now I have to do what here, I just have to pop this out. I'm again saying I'm not, explaining this very well, because we have no time. We just have to, you just have to watch that video next smaller to right. Okay, there we have explained it very well. So I'm just giving you brief introduction about this. Okay, so now my stacks is empty, so obviously here its next smaller element is also 4. Everything will be 4 because there is no such element. I'm taking some other input. Okay, then you'll be getting maybe good picture. Okay, so let's say 6, 7, 2, and 3. And in the indices are 0, 1, 2, 3. So third next smallest element will be 4 because length of the array. Okay, I'm storing here what indices I'm storing here. Okay, the fourth index has the next smallest. Nothing is the next smallest, but we have to calculate the valid sub arrays now. That's why. Okay, so what about 2 now? So what I am going to do here, I have to push my third index. Okay, in the third index here is index and its value. So its value 3. Okay, so now I'm going to see whether it is smaller, so I have to do nothing, I just have to pop my element. And what will be the answer? Now my stack size is my stack size is equal to 0, then my next small element will be at 4. Okay, so and I have to push this. plus one more thing. Okay, so now I have to see if my element is less than this. It's not less than, it's fine. So I have to do what? Now my answer will be what? My answer will be stacks top. Okay, so the next smallest element to this is at 2. So at second index, that means at this, whatever my stacks top is, it will be the next smallest element. Okay, fine. So it will be the next smallest element, and after this I have to do what? I just have to push my element here. So the index was 1 and the element was 7. So I have to check for 6 now. So 6 is less than the topmost element, yes. So we have to do nothing, we just have to pop this out. Okay, so this while loop will run again, and it will see if my stack top is less than, that means if my element is less than or not, but it's not. My stack top is less than, rather my element is less than. So my answer will be also 2. So you can see from here that sixth, that its smallest element is present at 2, plus 7th smallest element is present at 2 also. So now you just see this from the code. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is, see, so now what we have to do, if my stack size, see, if my stacks size is equal to 0, sorry, if my, it's not, yes, it's fine. If my stack size is equal to 0, then we have to do what? We have to plus, we have to add my count with what? With the nums dot length, and we have to subtract it from the index. Else, that means my stacks has something. So else will be the answer. Okay, so my count, I'm going to add with it my stacks or whatever in the peak of my stack. Okay, my stacks peak minus of I. Okay, after this, at last I'm going to do what? I just have pushed my index. Okay, so now I have to return it. So I'm going to return what? I'm going to return my count, whatever my count was. Okay, so let's try to submit this code and see if there are errors. Then we'll be solving the errors. Okay, there is some error. While stack dot size, where is it? Okay, t dot size greater than 0, and then element ele nums of I. Yeah, it's okay. There's one more bracket. Sorry. Let's try to run again. And yes, it's accepted. Let's try to submit this. See if all the test cases are getting passed. Okay. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's getting passed. So I hope you understood this question. If you are having any doubt, please watch this video again. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. Plus one most important thing I'm going to tell you. If you know the next smallest element to write videos, if you know that algorithm, if you are mastered in that algorithm, that then this question is nothing for you. Okay, so I am suggesting you again that go and watch that video. Okay guys, then you'll be getting a better picture of this solution. Okay, so yeah, this is it. So please, plus if you like the video, please hit the like button and please share and subscribe our channel. Thank you guys, we'll meet in the next lecture. Bye bye, take care.